Right, how you all doing? So it's the big match. It's Newcastle versus Chelsea. It's in James's Park. I'm going to be there today for a match day experience, and welcome to 100% NUFC if you're new. So this is just like a pre-match build-up to the game, like on a match day, where I'll just be talking all things Newcastle United, and you can also get yourself involved and just have your say on potential team lineups, the week ahead going into the game. So this is sort of going to be like a new thing on the channel that I'm going to be doing. And the more people that I get involved on a match day sort of build up on the stream, the better it's going to be. So sort of this is like the first one, so it's like a test, if you like. And yeah, the more people that I can get on it, the better. So today we're just going to be like discussing the game, Newcastle versus Chelsea, a big game. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to going there. Hi, Jake. Welcome to the stream, mate. I'm not doing too bad, just say. Big game against Chelsea. Hoping for at least a draw. I don't want to sort of say we're going to get beat, because I think it's going to be a tough game against a really tough Chelsea team. So. And if you're new as well, don't forget to subscribe as well for regular NUFC content. I'm just going to wait for you to get into the stream and let it build up as well before I talk further. Binge bars, go mate. You alright? You looking forward to the game? Should be a big game. Hopefully, try and come out with at least a point. I'll take that any day of the week. It's going to be a hard game, but as long as we put in 100%, no matter what we. Yeah, that's it. That's all that matters at the end of the day. As long as we give it, 110%, put in a good effort. That's all you can expect from the lads. They've got far too much quality for us. They've got the new manager in Sari, who has got 100% start. And like I say, I know that we're going to be up against it today, and people will compare the 3-0 result at the end of last season, but this is a new season for everybody. Are you sure you kind of gave in 27 hours ago, mate? You good? Welcome to the stream. It's going to be a tough game, like no question about that. Chelsea have got quality, and we all know last season that Chelsea were going through a bit of a rough patch, trying to get rid of Conte, and they weren't exactly playing for him. So today, we're just going to have to be on with game, because I reckon if we don't, then Chelsea will just pick us apart. As simple as that. I think we'll play well, hopefully a draw, but never know. Football is crazy. Rondon and Mutu start, in my opinion. What's yours, buddy? Yeah, I totally agree with you there, Daniel. I'll definitely have to start with Mutu and Rondon, because for me, it hasn't been good enough for Hosler up front. I don't want to just blame the lad. He's not just to blame, but if we're going to buy Rondon and Mutu, then I think we've got to start them. This is going to be our potential starting lineup, throughout the season, and this is what we're going to have to persist with. If we're not playing them, then what's the point in signing them? That's the bottom line. And like I say, it's going to be a tough game. Have a look at some more of your comments going down below. So Lawrence, you've gone for a. Oh, you're asking me for my prediction. Let's have a look, mate. Yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Connor Gaiman, you're 27, you're going 2-2. I would take that. Goals, that's important. Yeah, 1-1 for me. I think if we can sort of, I reckon we'll fall behind, but if we can sort of get a response and play well second half or something like that, then we could easily come back into it. We've got the capabilities of beating anybody on the day, because that's what we are. We're Newcastle United. I think it's going to be a game where we can't underestimate Chelsea whatsoever, because if we do, like I keep saying, they'll pick off, and the quality that they've got, we could be in for a long day. AJ boy, hello mate, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Looking forward to the game. Did I watch the Logan Paul fight? I didn't actually, if I'm honest with you. Didn't really interest us, but I hear it was a draw. So there's going to be a replay in America, I think, is it next year? According to the True Geordie, so that'd be interesting. I watched the Wolves game yesterday. I liked the game. Yeah, Wolves were pretty good, if I'm honest with you. Obviously, I know it was a handball for that goal, but Wolves kind of showed, what they're about, in that they can't do it against the so-called bigger clubs like Man City. Man City didn't know what hit them when they went 1-0 down. Obviously, Man City were always going to come back eventually with the squad that they've got. But Wolves, for me, I think they were good. I don't think they played bad. I think they deserved the draw overall. They kind of done to Man City what Man City do to a lot of teams, and they got in their face and Man City didn't like that, and that's how they fell behind. And okay, they showed character to come back, but on another day, Wolves could have won that yesterday. So, but let's wait and see. That hopefully that we can do the same thing. Hopefully we can get to Chelsea's faces and cause a problem, because that's what you've got to do. You've got to cause a problem, and if we don't do that, if we show the same attitude last week that we showed against Cardiff, then we'll get nothing. And that's as simple as that, really. Rafa will obviously set up to defend, but we can't defend too much because we don't want to make it obvious, of course, to Chelsea. You go to the game. I am, mate. I'm going to be there today. There's going to be a match day experience from the game, so I'm going to be vlogging throughout the whole day. If you go to the game, I'll try and get you on to the match day vlog. So there's plenty to look forward to the day. Obviously, it's a late kick-off, so it's 4 o'clock, so I'm not going just yet. But yeah, I will be there, Lawrence. That's answering your question. Like I say, if you're new as well to the stream, don't forget to subscribe. That'd be brilliant. Which away games are you going to? Well, I was going to go to Forest and Man City. That's now off because of other commitments. But I'm going to try to get to as many as I possibly can this season, of course, with work. They're giving us flexibility, so that's what I want. Obviously, I will be at the next few games. Don't worry about that. But like I say, I want to go to like Leicester, West Ham. I want to go to Everton. I want to go to some grounds this season that I didn't get to go to last season. So last season I went to the likes of Burnley, I went to Huddersfield. 0818, you can have a shout out. Yeah, mate, welcome to the stream. There you go, you got your shout out. So I always shout people out on the stream. But what do you think about R2 in the middle? Would you bring in Kiefer Diarmi and also back for maybe bring in Fernandes? Let's have a look. Comments have gone already. Bring in Fernandes because he is a ball player. Let's have a look. Live chat. In for Clark because he's ball playing. Do you know what? Yeah, I would give Key a start because if I'm honest with you, what's the point in signing Key? Like, he's a half decent player and he's just he's sat there on the bench, and you like I say, with the forwards you've got Rondon, you've got Mutu as well, they're just basically sitting there. They're waiting for a game, they're scratching their heads, and I keep saying, the longer we persist for Hoslu, the longer we're just going to keep losing games because he doesn't show up enough in the big games. He doesn't show up in a lot of games. So sort of one of them really, mate. But he's definitely got to have a start. I like these live streams. Yeah, Chaz, mate. Like I say, this is the aim this season, to try and do something different to last season. I want to try and do a lot more build up to the game. If you get guys more involved, and you can talk, going into the games as well. So something different, of course. Sharky Fernandes played for Rafa's under Napoli. It was pretty good. He did actually, yeah, because Rafa had a stint at Napoli, didn't he? Done well in the Italian league, and I know Sarri, who's the current Chelsea boss, said a lot of nice things about Rafa, that he gave him the route into football, so he's had a lot of for what he's sort of achieved so far. Lawrence, would you start Rondon up front and Murphy on the left? Yeah, I would actually. I'd start them both. Murphy looked quite bright against Cardiff, if I'm honest. Rondon, I would definitely play him up front instead of Hoslu, because he offers something different, and if we don't play him, he's never going to get a game. And I think Rondon showed in that sort of last half an hour against Tottenham that he has got what it takes. Pro Play Dan, I really want to see Key and Shelby would offer some quality and service now, and also more comfortable. Yeah, I agree with it. Like I say, it's definitely something we should be experimenting this season. We should definitely be playing Key. We should definitely be playing a lot of our new signings, because there's no point in them just sitting on the bench. It makes absolutely no sense. Like I say, Rondon today, like I say, if he scores against Chelsea, he could easily become a fan's favourite. That's what players are like, when they sort of do well at this club. If they put in 110% in the score, even just one goal, they're instantly going to become a club hero. So for me, I don't think it's a case of Rafa not wanting to pick him. I just think it's the sort of way he's playing. But today we can't be going all out too defensive because Chelsea will go off. Jake, I would start Rondon up front because Joslu is not good enough and it won't. Nah, he's not. This is the thing with Hoslu. He's you've paid £5 million for him. He's not gonna not do much, is he, for the price that you've paid? £5 million. That's what it is. That's what it says on the tin. It's very rare that you get a player for sort of £5 million, and they're going to become this wonder kid, and you're going to be able to sell them on for 30 to 40 million. I I can't sort of criticise the way he plays and how he tries, but he just doesn't do it on a consistent basis, and that's where we're at as a football club. Let's have a look. No comments came in. Rondon or not? Rondon or Riot? we've got to start Rondon today. It makes no sense. I mean, I know he's on loan, and there's probably a little clause in there to say he can only play so many games, but at the end of the day, if that's the problem, why sign him? It makes absolutely no sense. Not to start him. So for me, you've got to start him. It's a given. I think you've got to start him. I saw Joslu in Wet and Wild. Did you? I genuinely thought that place was closed down, Wet and Wild, but it must be back open now by the sounds of it. But yeah, a lot of people are calling for Rondon to start. It would make perfect sense for me. Formation, I think Rafa Alexei will play the more defensive role. I can't see we're sort of, taking the game to Chelsea because that's how Rafa plays. He has to be given the chance to prove why he should start. Rafa's not going to give him that with him on the bench. Well, yeah, that's it, mate. Like I said, today I think he's got to start. I think it's obvious. Against Cardiff, we simply didn't do enough. We didn't do enough to win the game. And if we'd had won the game, it would have been brilliant to get the 3 points against Cardiff. But it would have been harsh on Cardiff, considering that, we should really went down to 9 men. And that we just didn't, have a good game. So it's kind of one of them, really. Lawrence will probably play on the counter-attack. I hope so. We can't just sit back constantly, because if we do that, like I said, Chelsea, with their quality, they're just going to pick one off each time, and it could get embarrassing. If we just sit there and defend and not counter-attack them. I think we've got to do that. I think that's how we played the last time, last game of the season, despite our problems. Chelsea couldn't deal with our counter-attack, and that's, I think, how we'll have to play today, because if we don't, yeah, like I say, it could be a long afternoon. Jake Shelby, do you watch any other sports other than football? Not really, if I'm honest with you. Football's, for me, the main sport that I like. I enjoy going to the games because it takes away the problems of the week. It's sort of like a community sort of sport for me. Like, everybody comes together and I have a drink before the game. You go there and you just enjoy the atmosphere and just enjoy being around, the supporters and back lads. So for me, football is probably just the main sport that I like. I probably would watch like sort of rugby if it was like Six Nations, but you wouldn't catch us watching rugby if it was like Newcastle Falcons, because it's just not it's not the same, if I'm honest. Basketball it's okay, but it just gets a little bit boring after a while. Say what I couldn't just watch F1. I can't just watch people going around a racetrack for like 2 hours, because it's just the same thing over and over and over again. Snooker, it's okay. Could probably watch a couple of frames, but apart from that, it's just nah. Say if I watch UFC and football, them are my 2 main sports. Well, yeah, like I say, football's sort of like the dominant force in Newcastle. It's the sport that everybody that sort of likes you, everyone comes together. It takes away the problems of the week. So, you sort of go to work in the week, and then you go to the games and you just enjoy it, and you just get behind the lads. And like I say, you can just let your head down and just sort of just do what you do, really, and go crazy, watch the game. Like I say, if you lose, you hit the booze, don't you? So that's sort of the way I look at it. If you win, it's good, but like I say, if you lose, hit the booze. So that's just, like I say, that's my sort of thinking on football. It just takes away the problems of the week, and you can just go there and enjoy it, and you can be around all the other supporters that want to support the club for the same reasons. But we're looking for a good crowd today, like. It's a good getaway of football, definitely. No, it is, mate. That's what it's all about. You go and watch the football, you let your hair down, have a drink, go around your supporters, your mates, and just go there and enjoy it. That's how I look at football. And like I say, I'm not one of those fans, like, if you lose a game, I'm not going back, because for me, I love Newcastle. Like, one person's not going to stop me from going to the games. That's just not what I'm about. Like I say, if you lose, you sort of hit the booze and just go, get drunk, or just drown your sorrows that you lost. It's football, like a lot of you have said, it's a crazy sport. You just don't know what's going to happen at any one time. You can never tell what the score is going to be. You don't know how teams are going to line up. It's weird, but like I say, St James's Park, there's no better feeling when you go there on a match day. Regardless of how full or empty it is, it's just the feeling of going to St James's Park. It's massive. And just being around all these supporters when the atmosphere is good, it always goes up to be a good game. So. Like I say, to be at St James's Park today, I cannot wait. I love match day. I love everything about it. So like I say, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so you never miss any content from myself. Like I say, there will be a match day experience from St James's Park. I'll be vlogging it, whether we win, lose or draw. Hopefully try and get a lot of you on the channel as well if you're going to be at the game. I should be at the club store for around about 2 o'clock if you want to be on the channel, if you want like a sort of pre-match talk. But yeah, what time is kick-off again? So the kick-off is at 4 o'clock. It's on Sky Sports if you're not going to be there today. Where are you sitting in the ground today? I'm in the Millburn stand, mate. That's where I'm going to be sitting. Sharky, I'm loving the Premier predictions. Yeah, Chaz, mate. Like I say, it's a new thing on the channel. The Premier predictions, it's all about getting everybody involved. Whether you're a Huddersfield fan, a Man United fan, Chelsea fan, any fan within the Premier League, it's all about getting you guys involved. And what I'll do is you take on me. So I'll predict all the Premier League predictions over the course of the weekend. And if you get 3 right, you get a shout out on the channel. And I'll screenshot your channel as well so people can see and they can also subscribe. So like I say, it's all about bringing everyone together this season. It's all about doing something completely different. Like I say, there will be Newcastle stuff, of course, but there's always going to be the so-called like Premier League predictions on there as well. And I've been wanting to do that for a while now. It's going down really well. So the more you keep watching, just tell your friends. It'll be, I'll keep doing it. Yeah, about the match today too. Always buzzing for playing the big teams at home. Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a big game. No question about that. Chelsea, they're going to come with quality. They're going to come with a game plan, and we're just going to have to try and, stop the game plan. And that's what gives me more confidence is that we're playing at home as well, and we seem to play a lot better at home against so-called big clubs. Let's have a look at the comments. Yeah, I hope the atmosphere is better. Let's have a look. There's a few just come through. I hope the atmosphere is better today as it wasn't great against Spurs. Yeah, it wasn't fantastic, if I'm honest with you. I think it was sort of like the atmosphere, the protest. That's why everybody was sort of like down in the dumps a little bit. But I was sort of like pleased that nobody kind of protested within the ground because it's no good doing that. If you're just going to protest in the ground, then there's no point in being there because Rafa doesn't want fans doing that. He wants you just to get behind the lads, and it's going to help us stay up this season. I know it's going to be a tough ride, and we haven't done one in the window, which has been shocking. But it's just getting behind the lads. If you do that, then it's not going to cause any problems, is it? At home, we have to make our fortress thing. If we can storm today, we will find gaps. As you said, if we fail to, it's like I say, it's going to be a tough game. Chelsea have got that quality. We don't. We are just going to try and find a way of winning or find a way of getting a result. If we don't win, it's not the end of the world. You've kind of got to remember who you're playing because Chelsea have got the quality we don't. If we draw the game, I'll take another point. I know we need 3 points, but if you look at the running, we've got sort of Man City coming up. What do you think you reckon the score would be in the earlier game today? Who's playing earlier on? I can't quite remember now. I know Burnley are playing because he has Europa League. But for ourselves, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I'm going to stay positive and go for a 1-1 because on the day against the so-called bigger clubs, we can't do it. We have got what it takes to get a result. And that's the one thing that, that goes for us is that we're playing at home. If it had been at Stamford Bridge today, then probably wouldn't give her a chance. Ari Troy, mate. Yeah, Matty, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. You going to the game? 5-0 to Newcastle. Well, we're going to have to be on my game. We're literally just going to have to play out our skins if we're going to get a 5-0 result against Chelsea. It's going to be a huge response if we can somehow respond from the sort of like drab performance against Cardiff and then get something against Chelsea and hammer them 5-0. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'd happily take the point. So if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button as well, that'd be massively appreciated. Nottingham, Nottingham Forest, yeah, we should beat Nottingham Forest. No disrespect to Forest, but then again, they'll be coming on with revenge because, well, we'll be wanting revenge from last season because we got beaten with 3-2. It's obviously going to be down there, so it's going to be tough. What's that, mate? 195.45. What do you say? Let's have a look. Come on, lads. I thought 1-0 Chelsea, unfortunately. Sorry. It'll be tough, like I say, it's Chelsea. They've got the quality, and if they did beat, I sort of won't be disappointed as long as we put the effort in. I will be disappointed if we don't because that's what we expect, for the players to put effort in. Like I say, they've got quality all over the pitch. Actually, confident Mutu will start today. I think Mutu and Rondon have to start. I think both of them do because, if I'm honest with you, there's no point in just like persisting with the same team. I know he has done that the last 2 games, but it just doesn't work. There's no point playing the same two players that aren't getting you goals. We've scored 1 goal so far. We had a chance to get 3 points last week. When we're playing a team like Chelsea, and yes, you will set up to defend, but you don't want to make it obvious, because if you're making it obvious to Chelsea, like I say, with what they've got, the players that they've got, Willian, Hazard, Giroud, they will cause problems, and they will, it will be like sort of like a long afternoon if we concede the first goal very early on. So it's going to be, like I say, one of them where if we don't, hit the ground running, then Chelsea will pick us off, and that's the sort of quality that Chelsea have, unfortunately. But just hoping that the lads can sort of kick on, where they left off. You go to the protest, mate. I'm not too sure, if I'm honest with you. It's pretty much going to be the same as last week, if I'm honest. It's just going outside the shop. It's sort of free publicity for Mike Ashley. He's not going to be bothered like what we do, really. We could protest all day, but it's just free publicity for him. We're not really doing much. It was peaceful, obviously, of course, it worked in terms of being peaceful, but he's just basically laughing at it, really, in terms of what's going on, sort of behind the scenes. Do you think Newcastle will stay up? Do you think there are 3 worst teams? Yeah, I do think we'll stay up. Definitely, Freddie. I think we're better than what the league suggests and what people are saying. It's obviously going to be a long season, but I think we're just going to have to sort of stay patient. That's all we can do. I've said this season we'll finish mid-table. We'll be around about 12th, 13th, 14th. We'll probably be battling relegation for long periods, but I think just like last season, we'll sort of like tail away from the relegation zone with like 4 or 5 games to go, because we have got that sort of quality. And yeah, there is 3 worst teams like Huddersfield, Cardiff, teams like that who I just don't think are going to be as good as what we are going to be. The game yesterday against Cardiff and Huddersfield, that just summed up 2 poor teams in my opinion. I think Burnley might struggle as well because of Europa League, but it's whether or not they can keep a hold of that sort of football. Let's have a look. Lawrence, what do you say? I think Huddersfield, Southampton and Cardiff will go down. Southampton didn't look very good yesterday, if I'm honest. They looked a little bit defensively all over the place. Everton sort of picked them off. Oh, sorry, Leicester picked them off, should I say, in a game which, Harry Maguire scoring a goal from there in the 90th minute. That is bad defending by Southampton. That shouldn't happen. But yeah, talking about Newcastle, I think, we will stay up. My updated relegation prediction, let's have a look. You've got Cardiff, Huddersfield and Brighton. Yeah, you're probably going to be right towards the end of the season. That's probably who it's going to be. I can't see it being us, if I'm honest with you. I think we have got what it takes to stay up. Our home performances at St James's Park, we're going to have to play well. We're going to have to win at least 50% of our home games, at least 10 of them, to have any chance, because our away performances aren't brilliant. We don't really get enough points away from home, so we are relying massively on what we do at St James's Park. So, yeah, in terms of that question, definitely not. We're definitely not getting relegated, in my opinion. I don't think we're going to go down, unless we somehow have a comical disaster, but I can't see that happening. We've got a tough run at the moment, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to, play all these teams at the start of the season. You're going to have to play, the big teams eventually, and you've got to remember, once we've played Chelsea, Man City, and Arsenal in September, we've got a good little run in where we're playing Crystal Palace, Watford, Huddersfield. So you know what? It doesn't really matter too much at the moment. Once September comes and we're playing the so-called teams around us, I think we'll be all right. I think we'll get the points, and then as soon as like October comes, we'll be laughing. We'll have 15 to 16 points, no question about that. And I have no qualms that we're not going to stay up, because we have got what it takes to stay up. We just need to play as a team, and just when it gets tough, let's just not bow our heads. Let's just stay positive and just believe that we can win the next time. So at the end, for me, I wouldn't do that. Sharky, do you when Yedlin is coming back? Yeah, I don't know, if I'm honest with you. I think he'll be back the next game. I think this game might be a little bit too early for him at the moment. I think he is out with an injury. He was training with the lads, I believe. So it's a case of we're just gonna have to stay patient on that one. Rafa did say that he's quite confident that he was going to be coming back eventually. Just gonna have to wait and see what's going on. Yedlin by far is probably one of our best right backs at the club, so it will be tough not to have him in the squad today, because he is quite pacey. He has got the pace to burn. Mankio's out as well, so today I would like to see the likes of Sterry play, because if Sterry's like a young lad, and I think he could probably fill in the void, and you've got to give him his chance eventually, because if we don't, then the lad's just going to get shipped out on loan. He's never going to get an opportunity, and having a local lad, that's what you want. What would be my lineup today? I would go Mutu Rondon. I would go with Jacob Murphy, Matt Ritchie. I'll go John Joe Shelby. I'll go Key. At the back, I'll go with Paul Dummett. I will go with Sterry. The back two, I will go with Jamal Lascelles, and I will go with maybe give Fernandez a chance. And then in goal, obviously, would be Dubravka. So that's my sort of team I would have. I'd have to give Sterry a start. I want to be sure when he was coming back. That's fine, mate. Welcome. Who's next? Let's have a look. As long as Mankiw doesn't start, I'm happy. Yeah, you're right, mate. Mankiw's liability. He's injured at the moment, so you might be pleased about that. I don't think he was very good against Cardiff. He was very suspect, and he was just getting ripped by Josh Murphy each time. So, the longer he was playing, Mankiw, I think if we played him second half, I think we would have got beat because he just couldn't deal with the pace of Josh Murphy, and Josh Murphy was terminal or so, and that was the sort of problems that he was having. And then obviously we had Hayden on, who, Jesus, when he came on, he got a red card in about 10-15 minutes. So today is just try and test it, if I'm honest. Yedlin is back. Sharky, what was your favourite World Cup you ever watched? I quite enjoyed this World Cup, if I'm honest with you, just gone. I liked how we stayed positive, we beat a lot of teams, and it just sort of died off at the end. I think we just had a little bit run out of steam against Croatia. I think they were playing on Duracell. We put all our effort into the first half. We got the first goal, and we didn't capitalise. We didn't get the second or the third goal just to see off Croatia. I think if we did, then I think we would have easily got through to the final. But it's a given in the World Cup. You can't fault the lads' efforts and Gareth Southgate for the way we're set up and how the whole nation came together, and that was massive. Do you think Yedlin will start? Well, it'd be interesting to see what happens in terms of the lineup, because I've heard a few rumours that he isn't playing, and I've heard a couple that he is. So either way, I would, if Yedlin isn't playing, then I would rather see Sterry have a chance, because he's a young lad. He's come through the academy. He's played in the reserves, and there's no point in him just sitting there on the bench, waiting for a game or sending him out on loan. You've got to give these local lads a chance, because if we don't, then we're just going to regret it. For me, we don't produce enough in the reserves, and that's all I want to see. Are you still part of Newcastle Fans TV? I am, yes. I won't be on the fan cams today, unfortunately. Obviously, I've got things going on after the game, but yeah, I am part of it. Do a few fan cams and that with Lee and the team. So anyway, what's your score predictions? If you're all on the stream, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Sharky, do you think we should get back up in the Premier? I think it would work. Just need a bit of improvements. Well, there's a lot of improvements, like I say, with the ownership. If he's not going to strengthen the team, and if he's not going to get players with quality that's going to get you in that top 7, then we're just going to struggle like this season. This season could have been a season with so much promise of trying to get into that top 7, but because Mike Ashley didn't get the quality that we wanted, and Rafa Benitez was frustrated, it's going to be another long season, and that's it. Sterry was amazing against Sunderland. Yeah, he was in the week. You just got to give him his chance. I mean, some of the reserves, you've got to give him that chance of stepping up into the first team. If you don't, then how do you know if they're going to be, good or not? So was Longstaff. Yeah, they were all good against Sunderland, if I'm honest. And then the under 18s also won 1-0 yesterday. So it's been a sort of a good week on the Derby front. Obviously, we need to play them at first team level eventually. 2-0 Chelsea, 2-1 Toon. I'd like to see we get 3 points today. I don't see why we can't at home, but realistically, with Rafa Benitez playing the so-called defensive game, I think we've just got to try and stay focused and just play to our strengths. And let's just not get too underconfident, overconfident. Let's just play at a level that's going to be, realistic. It's St James's, and I don't see why we can't, get something from the game. Tough as it sounds, but you've got to be positive. Let's have a look at the comments. I was talking about VAR getting added into the Premier League, Sharky, not us. Well, I was disappointed when VAR didn't get added into the Premier League this season, because it's going to see, a lot of poor decisions such as handballs, balls potentially crossing the line. With there being so much money in the Premier League, and for it not to be given, I don't understand it at all. You've got the goal line technology, but half the time it doesn't even work. No doubt Rafa will let's have a look. What did you say there? The GM away. Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, I think today he will play a defensive game. There's no question about that. I think we're just going to have to play on the counter attack. We can't really do much more with the quality that we've got. But who knows? If we were to go 1-0 up, so if say like Rondon or Mutu was to start, if we were to go 1-0 up, then I think we might open up a bit more. But the longer that the game stays 0-0, then yes, Rafa Benitez will stay with the sort of defensive way of playing. But it would be interesting to know what would happen if we went 1-0 up, because Chelsea then would have to come at us. There's no doubt about that. They're not going to just if they go 1-0 down, they're not just going to sit back. But they are going to play a dangerous game. And today, I know for a fact that we're just going to have to remain patient, because despite us being the home team, we're not going to have a lot of the ball. And that's what we're going to have to learn when we play all these bigger sort of clubs with better players than ourselves. They're going to have a lot more of the ball, and we're just going to have to try and find a way of getting the ball forward to whoever plays up front. Do you know Mutu has the chance to sign for Chelsea 4 years ago? Yeah, I did actually. It came very close, but it broke down. I seen him last 10 minutes against Tottenham. He did look quite promising, but he's never really kind of running just yet. But today I think will be his ideal opportunity to get his game. I just think Rafa should start Mutu and Rondon. It's obvious. Someone like Perez, you could bring off the bench. I know Perez, he's like one of those frustrating players where he'll turn it for one moment and the next he'll not sort of have a good game. Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see who he picks. Yeah, I think VAR could work. Just needs improvement, on how it takes for the ref. Yeah, it's the Premier League. I say there was so much money in it. I think we need VAR. I think we need it because it could be the difference between scrapping the so-called top six and getting teams in there that sort of clubs that will finish mid-table because things have gone against them. Let's have a look. Rips it up in the German league. Yeah, the German league, in my opinion, is a tough league. People do think it's easy. It's actually not. You've got Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Borussia Mönchengladbach. You've got some good clubs in there, and I think he's played a high level of football from the German Bundesliga. You would have had a bit of a competition in Europe as well, so he comes in with some experience. But we need goals. That's the most important thing. We need goals. If we score goals, we're going to rise up the table, and we're not going to worry about relegation. So I want to know what people's starting lineups are going to be today. So what do you think Rafa Benitez is going to pick, or who do you think he's going to pick? Who do you think he'll start? Who do you think he'll drop from the Cardiff game, which took place last Saturday? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe. Welcome to the stream as well if you're new. And like I say, if you do subscribe, you'll never miss any content from me again. All Newcastle stuff, Premier League predictions. You can get them all in down below. It's not too late to get your Premier League predictions in as well. For today's games, you've got to try and get free rate, of course. It's not going to be easy, but just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, like I say, if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. That would really mean the world to us if you could do that. The aim is to try and get 1,500 subscribers. We're pretty much getting there. It's just going to be a slow process at the moment. Shoggy, do you think Sunderland will finish 22nd? No, I think Sunderland will be alright, if I'm honest. I've seen enough in League One for them to suggest that I think they'll be alright. I think they'll come up. They shouldn't really have got relegated to start with to League One. It's sort of their own fault. They've done it themselves. But I think they'll be back. I think they'll be back in the Championship. I think that's probably where they're at the moment. But League One, I think they should get out of League One. It's an easy league. It's a poor league full of poor teams. I think it was a lot more competitive last year than what it was this year. Because you've got to remember, if you're like a League One club and you don't go up and you were good sort of the season before, you're going to lose a lot of your best players to the so-called Championship, to the Premier League. So I think that they should come up really. They'll be one of the favourites. And that pains us to say, but they should get out of League One. No question about that. But yeah, let us know your start lineups for today's game against Chelsea. Big game as well. It's St James's Park match day, 4 o'clock kickoff. And I will be vlogging the game, so don't worry about that. You will see some match day highlights from the game. Shortly, do you know where they are so far? They're actually second in League One at the moment. Dubravka, Yedlin, Lascelles, Fernandez, Dummett, Murphy, Key, John Droshelby, Richie, Mutu, Rondon. That's a good starting lineup. That's something I would have, if I'm honest. That's a good starting 11. I think Rafa Benitez has got to freshen it up today against Chelsea. I don't see why he persists with the same team. That got beat off Tottenham, that drew with Cardiff. You've got it. It's sort of like tried and tested. Andrew's going, mate. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the pre-match live build-up. Let us know who your teams. Let us know your start 11. If you're new, subscribe, like. Cheers. It's a bit cloudy today as well, so hopefully it doesn't rain either because it's not what I want. Lauren Joe going to Bravka, Yedlin, Clark, Dummett, Diarmi, Shelby, Rich, Murphy, and Rondon. It's not a bad team, if I'm honest. I think Rafa's got to show the team up a little bit. He can't persist with the same team. There's no point playing with this, with the same team that's got you 1 point from 2 games. Because against Cardiff, I don't think we played well enough at all. Meant to include Lascelles. Yeah, you can't not choose Jamal Lascelles. He's club captain, isn't he? But like I say, you can't keep the same team that played against Cardiff, if I'm honest, because if we do... Is Aaron still at Newcastle? Yes, he is. He's just frozen out at the moment. He didn't get his shirt number. So I'd imagine this week or at some point he'll be getting shipped out on loan. I don't think he's got a future at Newcastle, if I'm honest with you, Rolando Aarons. He's a good player. On his day, Rolando Aarons can be a dangerous player. But in the last few months, I just don't know what's the matter with him. Ever since he's went out on loan, Rafa Benitez doesn't seem to favour him anymore. But I think Rolando Aarons, to save his career, he needs to go out on loan. I really do. Jake Kennedy can't play. Yeah, Kennedy can't play because he's on loan at Chelsea, so he will not be eligible to play against them today. We could have done with Kennedy, if I'm honest, because he's got the quality, he's got that key to unlock defences. He can take on, 1 or 2 players and take them out of the game. Yes, it's going to be interesting, but you know what? It's sort of like not a bad thing because last week he lost his temper and we could have lost him anyway for 3 games. So I'm kind of happy about that we didn't lose him. But I think he sort of needs a breather, if I'm honest. Giving Kennedy that breather will do him the world of good going to the next game, against Man City next week at the Etihad. I think we need to see the new signings. Yeah, we're definitely doing it. There's no point, signing players if we're not going to play them. I know, like I say, Rafa will play the defensive game. There's no question about that. But we can't afford to sit back for long periods of the game because if we do, then we will be punished. And I would like to see how we respond against Chelsea if we were to go 1-0 down, especially if it was early doors. If we go 1-0 down early doors, I want to see we respond. I want to see how we respond and how we communicate on the pitch. Let's have a look at your comments. To be honest with you, I wouldn't play Atit today. I don't think he's really been impressive the last few weeks. I've not really been impressed with him. I remember when Aarons came on to see him go against City. Yeah, I mean, like I say, he had his moment around Aarons. He's just sort of like tailed off in the last year. He had his loan deal. He went up to Italy. Personally, I think he should have went to Hull because Hull were in the Championship at the time. That's sort of the division below, and you would have got a lot more experience through playing the Championship. You would have scored a lot more goals. You would have been known a lot more. If he'd played for Hull and he'd done well, he could have been at Hull and he could have got his contract. Bear in mind, between Newcastle and Hull, the distance isn't exactly huge. So for me, I think he made the wrong move and going to Italy. I can see why he's done it, and it's something different. But he should have stayed at Newcastle and then went to Hull. That's what he should have done. So who's your favourite Newcastle player now and of all time? Well, all time has to be Alan Shearer, of course. You can't fault what he's done at the football club legend. From the area. Your typical number 9. You'd score your goals. You'd be reliable. You would trust him. You would lead by example, and that's just how Shearer plays his game. He had the right attitude. He's one of us. He understands us. But in terms of at the moment, the current squad, I have to say Matt Ritchie because his attitude. I like how he gets frustrated when he goes off the pitch because it shows that he cares. It shows that he cares about the club. It shows that he cares about how we play, and he cares about Rafa Benitez. He wants Rafa to keep teaching him. He wants to learn, and when you see him frustrated on the bench, that's good. That's what I like to that's what I like to see, because there's been far too many Newcastle players these days that have just put on that black and white shirt and they've not given a shit. And I like his attitude. I like how he wants to go on to that next level. He wants to play for the fans. He wants to score the goals at the Gallagher. That's what I like, and that's all you ask for as a Newcastle fan. That you go out there, you put the black and white shirt on, and you give it 110%, and he's done that. And you can't fault Matt Ritchie for for what he's done at the club while he's been here, and that's what you want to see. You want to see a lot more Newcastle players if they're getting subbed to be like that. Not sort of like go overboard, of course, like throwing bottles off the floor and that, but I like what he's about, and I like Matt Ritchie for that. And for me, Matt Ritchie playing that position as well. Technically, he's a number 10. He's played quite well on the sort of right mid position. I like how he cuts in. He's different, and I've got a good feeling that Matt Ritchie might score today. I've got a good feeling. I think he's going to score. Obviously, depends on if we attack a lot in the game, but I've got a good feeling that Matt Ritchie, if he gets a lot of service and John Shelby gets a lot of service, then I think it could be a good game. I think we could score. It's going to be a tough game, no question about that. We're going to be defending for long periods of it, and we're just going to have to try and find a way, at breaking down that Chelsea defence. Do you think Rafa? Let's have a look. Just seen your comment there, mate. See if there's any more comments I've missed. I think Rafa could get top 7 with. Well, you see, when the next 3 seasons, Rafa Benitez's contract at the moment is up in the air. He has spoken in his press conference to say that he might speak in January, but for me, I think it's Mike Ashley's last chance to do something in the window. I've said that all along. If he doesn't back Rafa Benitez with funds, then there's no question that he will walk in May. And that's not something I want as a Newcastle fan. I don't want to see Rafa Benitez walk. I just want Mike Ashley to have one good window where he's just going to back him and give him the money that he deserves. You need to give, the squad definitely needs strengthening. There's no question about that, because there's key areas in the squad where we're weak and we're all over the place. I really thought this summer was going to be a window of progression, finishing top 10. But finishing top 10 was not a good thing, because it was a sense of excuse for Mike Ashley not to spend any money, because he would have looked at that and he would have thought, all right, okay, with a bang average team, we've finished 10th. I don't really need to strengthen because we were favourites to go down and we finished 10th. I don't need to strengthen. But you do in this Premier League, because the only reason we finished 10th, and I don't want to sound I'm being horrible here, but a lot of teams tailed off. Yeah, there's no question that Rafa Benitez will go at the end of the season. There's no question about it. If he's not back in January, his contract's up. Rafa Benitez can walk wherever he wants. He can go to any club he wants to. He can speak to any club that he wants. And personally, I wouldn't blame him, because he can't do much more with what he's got. He can't achieve any more than he's already achieved at Newcastle. He's got to win the top 10. He stayed with us when we went down. Rafa Benitez can't do much more with the squad that he's got. And unfortunately, it's Mike Ashley's last chance in January. And if he doesn't do it, then unfortunately, there's only one way we're going to be going, and we're probably going to get another yes man in next season. And then it's probably going to all go to pot. So, realistically, he probably will go at the end of the season if we don't strengthen in January. And if we're looking that we're in a precarious situation, then yeah, what's the point in him staying? That's why I told my dad that finishing 10th was good. It was good to finish 10th. It was a good season, but finishing 10th again was sort of an excuse for Mike Ashley to say we're not spending any money, because with the squad that we had, it wasn't that it needed changing. I think it did need changing. They say a lot of teams tailed off. That's why we got into the top 10. If we'd lost the game against Chelsea last game of the season, then we could have finished 14th. But I just don't understand why Mike Ashley can't give Rafa Benitez the funds. He's one of the best managers that we've had since Kevin Keegan, Bobby Robson. Let's stick Chris Hughton in there as well. He's been asking all summer for some money just to strengthen the squad, to get some highly rated players and just to challenge, for that top 7. As fans, we're not asking, to challenge sort of Champions League, because we're not on that calibre. But, if we can at least challenge Burnley for the top 7, then, that's, as fans, that's all we sort of deserve. But I'm actually going for a 2-0 Newcastle. I hope so. I hope you're right. It's going to be a tough match, I'd happily take a draw if we can, play a game. It's another point on the board. But, yeah, I think that all the lads, from front to back, that we're going to have to give it 110%. There's no question about it. Chelsea have got the quality. They've got the pace to burn. and they've got the players to unlock defences at any moment. So it's going to be one of those games where we're going to have to be patient. And even if we're still 0-0, say half an hour into the game, we don't want to be overconfident. We just got to try and find a way of getting through to the defence, because we did that last game of the season against Chelsea last season, where it was 0-0 for long parts, and then we got the goal, and then we grew into it, and then once we got the second goal, we sort of got the third one, and we could have got a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and to beat Chelsea 3-0 at the end of last season, I don't think many fans would have actually they would have bit your hand off if you'd said Newcastle 3, Chelsea 0, last game of the season. So let's have a look at this. Chelsea never do well at St James's Park. They haven't actually. I don't think they've won in 5 or 6 attempts. So there's a bit of confidence to go into this game. Of course, we haven't done too bad against them at home. Stamford Bridge, different story. I was there last season actually when we took the lead, and then we fell behind 3-1. But we can take confidence today that we can get something. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. And if the lads, show that they're willing and that they're going to give 110%, I don't see why we can't get anything. I'm not going to say, we're going to hammer them or anything like that, because you've got to remember, Chelsea have gone through a transitional period. They've got a new manager in Sarri, who done well at Napoli, had a really good Napoli team, and he's sort of instilling that into Chelsea. He's got a squad there that seems to be playing for him, and they've got a good fighting attitude. Last week they played Arsenal. They were 2-0 up, and then Arsenal came back to draw 2-2. And then they could easily have caved in. Chelsea didn't. They found a way of getting that sort of goal, the third goal to win the game. Also, I thought Arsenal were a little bit unlucky last week, but they've hammered Huddersfield. So, Sharky, could you read my last comment, mate? The one before. Let's have a look. What did you say? I won't blame Rafa if he walks, because Ashley keeps lying and the lies in. Exactly. I mean, like I say, Fulham spent, was it £120 million after just being promoted from the Championship? We didn't spend anywhere near that when we got promoted. So you could probably argue that they came through the playoffs and it's like a lottery, but at the end of the day, I just don't understand how we can't even break our transfer record. We've never done that since 2006-07, when we signed Michael Owen. In today's transfer market, when you've got clubs like Huddersfield, Bournemouth, Brighton, Cardiff, all breaking their transfer records. I wouldn't say Cardiff, but the other two that I've just mentioned. For a club of our size, we get 52,000 through those gates, week in, week out, home and away. And if we can't do that, then that's quite concerning for me. Or you go to the protest. Like I've already said, I don't think I'll be going, if I'm honest with you. I went last time for about 5 minutes. It was quite peaceful, don't get us wrong. But for me, it's just free publicity for Mike Ashley. He's not going to listen. He's been here 10 years, 11 years. What makes you think he's going to change? As sad as that sounds from a Newcastle point of view, nothing's really going to happen, because at the end of the day, it's going to be all over the news. It's going to be all over social media. Mike Ashley at the end of the day is going to come out the winner. He's the one that's going to be sort of happy. He's going to be coming out with with the money. But like I say, I won't be there. I'll be at the game, vlogging it as I always do. I'll be bringing out the matchday experience later on today. So obviously stay tuned if you want to see the matchday experience from the channel. Obviously subscribe as well if you want to see it. But no, I won't be at the process, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, honestly, mate, that's how long it's been. It's been 13 years since we've broken our transfer record, and that's quite sad, considering, that we've spent, at least 90% of our sort of career in Newcastle. So Newcastle have spent most of their time in the Premier League with the money that we've earned, for where we've finished. We've only had to, a couple of seasons in the Championship. We've been in the Premier League for, throughout its existence, and we haven't broken my transfer record. It's quite sad. It's quite annoying. Really, considering that you've got all these clubs that are spending. Do you think Rondon and Mutu will start? I'd like to think that both of them will start, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of them starts. And for me, one of them will be for Hoslu, if I'm honest with you. I reckon it could be Rondon over Mutu. I think Mutu might come on second half, but I think it will be Rondon. I think he needs to start, if I'm honest. He needs to show what he's about, and he did enough. Sort of in the last, half an hour against Tottenham, he caused problems, and that's what you want. You want someone who's going to cause problems. And last week we didn't cause enough problems to Cardiff's defence last week, and I felt we missed a big opportunity, to take 3 points away to get a point. Well, we got a point, but that's probably what we deserved. But on a given day, if we showed a bit more fight, then we could have got something. Who do you think will replace Kennedy as he kind of play? I would want to see Jacob Murphy start, if I'm honest, mate. I think he's impressed when he came on against Cardiff. I think he done a bit, and I think we paid £12 million for him. He didn't come cheap. I know that's cheap to a lot of clubs, but the lad's got talent. I like what he's about. I like how he cuts in. He's somebody different, and you know what? This game today could make or break Jacob Murphy, if I'm honest. It really could. He needs to start, because if he doesn't start in this game, he'll never start. Jacob Murphy's got talent, no question about that. I'm not going to be one of those fans that say, "Oh, get rid of him because he's rarely played." It's sort of not his fault, but today, if he's given the opportunity to play, he's got to grab it with two hands, because I watched Jacob Murphy at Norwich and I thought he was amazing. I thought he was good. Yes, it was the Championship, but he showed in glimpses that he has got talent, and he's definitely one for the future. And like I say, he comes with a big price tag. There's no point in keeping a £12 million winger on the bench if he's not going to get a game. And you can just see in his body language that he's starting to get frustrated, because even when it's not going well in matches, he's just sat there and he's looking for a game. So today it would have to be, Jacob Murphy. It was doing good at Fulham because they play the Fulham way. Yeah, that's it. They play the way style. That's the reason why I didn't think he was right for us. We don't play the way he wants to play. He got his first goal, of course, against Spurs. What shirt will you wear to the game today? I'm wearing this one. This is the one I'm wearing for the game, Newcastle game. Obviously, last season's top. I'm not getting this season's top because I just think it's a carbon copy of this one, if I'm honest with you. It's just a waste of money. I actually have got the away top. It's right here, actually. I'll just get it for you. Now I've got the away top. I'm not wearing that one today. That's the away top. I've got like the Prem badges on that. So obviously got my name on the back as well. Sharky 9. That, so it's I like the top, but you kind of fault it. You know what I mean? Let's have a look. Comments. There's going to be about to be more comments for us. Do you think Isaac? What do I think of Isaac Hayden? Fails to deceive, really. He's not really happy at Newcastle, is he? I think he needs to get a loan move. I think he needs to go back into the Championship. Yeah, he's been banned for 3 games, but his heart's not in the right place at the minute. He doesn't seem to want to play for Newcastle anymore, which, if he doesn't want to be here, then it makes sense to send him out on loan. There's no point keeping a player that's frustrated, that wants games, and he wants to be close to his family, which I totally understand. I mean, if I was unhappy and I wanted to be back to to where I live, then I totally get his frustration. Murphy should definitely let's have a look. Murphy showed glimpses last season, but mostly he was poor. Would like to see him start though. Yeah, that's what I mean. He was poor last season because, if I'm honest, he didn't get enough game time. He didn't get enough service. I think we were quite new to the Premier League as well. A lot of the teams that we were playing, they were playing fast-paced football. We were sort of like slow, but we're finding ways to try and get around teams. I think at the start of last season, I don't think we were really confident, and then sort of when we got a couple of signings in, like Kennedy, we got better. We showed a lot more of ourselves. We started to show what we're really about. But I think Murphy's got to start today. If Rafa Benitez doesn't start him, then if I was Murphy, I'd be asking for a loan move, because if he doesn't get his opportunity today, he never will. He might get a start in the cup, but say if we were to get knocked out against Nottingham Forest, then he's probably not going to get another game until like December or something, or January when the FA Cup comes around, and that's a long time. As a footballer, I'd be sitting around. Let's have a look. Murphy played well versus Man City in the second game too. He played all right. Let's have a look. JK Productions. I've put a bet on 1-0 with. It's not a bad show. I mean, if we can defend today, if we can sort of stick to a game plan and play as a team and cause Chelsea problems, then yeah, we probably could win 1-0. But it's a massive ask. If you do, hats off to you. If that comes off today, hats off to you. I mean, I'll take 3 points, but I'll even take a point. That's the sort of quality that we're coming up against this season, of course. Let's like I say, it's gonna be a tough match all round. I know that Chelsea are a good team, and they're going to be up there challenging for the Premier League. Our aim this season will just be to stay up because of what we've spent. Get the comments back. Do you think that Kieran Clark will start ahead of Shaw and Fernandez because Clark had a bad game against Cardiff, in my opinion? It depends, really, because I've heard a lot of rumours that Fernandez may get a chance. He wasn't fantastic at Chelsea at Swansea last season, but if you want to shore up at the back, it's like tried and tested. I think Fernandez and Jamal Salles might work. I don't know. It's Rafa Benitez. I wouldn't be surprised if Clark actually had he started today, to be honest, because Rafa Benitez tries not to mess around with the team too much. Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely a match that could go both ways. It depends on how we start. If we stick to a game plan, then yeah, we could. What's your favourite TV show and film? If I'm honest with you, I don't know. I've got a lot of TV programs that I like to watch. I've got a lot of, movies that I like to watch. There's that many. I couldn't name them all off the top of my head. But yeah, honestly, it's going to be a tough match. No question. What's your score prediction for today? I'm going to go Newcastle 1, Chelsea 1. I'll take a point. If we can get a point today, it'll be hard in, whether we'll play good or bad. Like I say, you've got to be realistic at who you're playing. It's Chelsea. If we're playing someone like Watford or playing someone like Bournemouth, Huddersfield, Brighton, then yeah, I'll be targeting 3 points. I mean, don't get us wrong. I would love to see we get 3 points today, but I just think we're going to have a work cut out for a lot of the game. We're going to have to really play our best game if we want to get something. Sharky, my favourite TV show is Chicago PD or When Film is Little Man. Nice. It's always nice when you got a favourite TV programme or a show. Like I say, if any of you are into the stream and you've never subscribed, please subscribe. Also hit the like button so you never miss a video from myself. Also, put your comments in down below. If you can hit that like button as well, hit the thumbs up. That would be good. Cheers, I've just hit the thumbs up. Thanks. That would really mean a lot to us as well. So, like I will repeat, I will be at the game today. I will be vlogging it. I am a vlogger, so I'll be vlogging the whole game. Match day experience, so you will be watching that later on today. Bear with us, it will be out later on tonight, probably not straight away, but it will be out at some point. I will be meeting the usual gang, of course, outside the game. Just super excited for the game, regardless of who we play. We could play Barcelona on the day, and I'd still be looking forward to it because that's what I am. That's what I'm about. Let's have a look at the comments. Do you think West Ham will finish above us this season, considering their poor start? Do you know what? I think they could, West Ham, because I seen enough yesterday against Arsenal that they were unlucky. 3-1 kind of flatters Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal were amazing. I mean, they got the job done, of course. They had to. I mean, Arsenal, they lost the first 2 games. They couldn't lose the third one. I think once West Ham get that first win, I think a bit like ourselves, once we get that first win, the confidence will grow and they'll start to win a lot more games. And that just comes with time. You just have to be patient. It's a bit like ourselves, once we get that first win, we'll be laughing because last season, I'm sure it was between October and around about at the end of January, was it? We hadn't won a game in 4 months at home. And then the minute we beat Man United 1-0 with Matt Ritchie, we won a lot of games. And then that all of a sudden, the confidence grew. We went up the table. We got better. And that's good. It's just you're gonna have to be patient. It's not a case of nothing happens overnight. But yes, we will need 3 points eventually. But I think if you look at our running, I'm looking forward to more like September when we'll have that good run coming up. Do you think Darlow is going to get pushed out now with Dubravka in? Yeah, there's no question for me. Darlow, I think he's had his time at Newcastle. He's served his time. Darlow for me is a championship goalkeeper. I don't think he's really good enough for the Premier League. I think he needs to try and thicken out a bit more. I think he will be back in the Premier League in years to come. Don't get us wrong, but I think he needs a loan deal or he needs to get out and play some championship football because Dubravka for me, he's an absolute steal. £4 million. I mean, if you were to put a price tag on Dubravka now, we could easily, sell him for 15 to 20 million pound. And I'm not being unrealistic there when I say that. We will easily, we could easily put 15 million pound on Dubravka and someone will buy him. Because that's how good he is and that's how good he was when he started in the Premier League, against Man United. And his confidence has just risen ever since. And even this season, when we got beat off Tottenham, he pulled off some fantastic saves. There was one actually was against Christian Eriksen, unbelievable. There was non-existent marking, and he was just there. Let's have a look. Do you watch any other league than the Premier League? Sometimes watch the Italian league and Spanish league. I do, yes. Sometimes I do watch the Spanish league and Italian league. Sometimes the Portuguese league. I like to watch Benfica. From Benfica are a good team. I like to watch out for them as well. But not as much as the Premier League, of course. I watch a lot of Championship as well. I think the Championship's starting to. I look at the Premier League and you've got like your top 10, and then you've got like your bottom 10 of the Premier League, and like your top sort of like 15 of the Championship. That's like a little mini league, if you like. Anybody could go down to the Championship from the bottom 10 onwards to the sort of 15th. Let's have a look. When do you think we will realistically break our transfer record? Once Mike Ashley's gone, we are not going to break our transfer record while Mike Ashley's still here. He's proved it, with all these cheap Sports Direct deals. We're getting players on loan, and half the time when we buy players on loan, it takes weeks to get them over the line. I don't understand why it takes that long to get a player over the line when they're on loan. Obviously, it could be wages, of course, but at the end of the day, like we're not Newcastle United, we're Newcastle United. We're a football club. We're a football club that is from the northeast. We're a community club. We're a club that gets behind the team, and what makes me laugh is the money that we put through that club each week, and for us to only get loan deals. It doesn't even break our transfer record. I mean, you got clubs like Bournemouth who spend like £20 million on a striker, and they don't even get near enough the capacities that we get. They don't even spend the money that we spend. So it is quite concerning, that we're not breaking our transfer record and that we're not spending big. I really don't know. I know people could say, "Oh, well, Mike Ashley's come in, he's cleared the debt and things like that." But at the end of the day, we're calling out for some ambition. We're calling out for a way forward. And like I say, would you blame Rafa Benitez if he was to walk out the door in May? Not really. I don't think anybody could really complain. It pissed me off how he spends money on. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I know what you're saying. He's went and spent £90 million on House of Fraser, but yet he couldn't spend 90 million on Rafa Benitez. You couldn't give Rafa Benitez that £90 million to go and strengthen the team, in key areas where it's needed. We can attract big names, but we won't attract big names while he's still here because he just doesn't have the ambition. And that pains us to say that, really, because we should be attracting the big names. We should be, and we haven't. And it's that's the reality of who we've got as the owner. But it's sad, really, considering that a lot of big names would want to play at St James's Park. A lot of fans, want to see big name players. A lot of big name players want to play in front of 52,000 every week. There'll be players out there that would love to play in the time we are derby, the we are side derby. But big names will never get that opportunity because Mike Ashley's here, and he won't do anything about it. That's the bottom line. And it frustrates us, really, because I know that we can attract big names, and I know that the money is there. He just decides not to spend it. Do you think Rafa will leave when his contract ends at the end of the season? And who do you think could replace him? In my opinion, like I say, January is sort of his last opportunity to go and spend. It's his last chance to strengthen the squad, to show that he's ambitious. For me, I think he'll be gone at the end of the season because Mike Ashley isn't ambitious enough. He doesn't care about the fans. And I'm not being funny, but he comes out and he says that he cares about Benitez. Right? Mike Ashley does not care about Rafa Benitez, right? Because if Mike Ashley cared about Rafa Benitez, right, we wouldn't be where we are now. We would be going into the season full of hope, full of expectation that potentially we could get 7th place, like Burnley did last season. And he's basically just stabbed Rafa Benitez right in the back this summer. Basically, the excuse would have been, "Oh, well, we'll finish 10th. We're not going to strengthen, we don't need to." When a lot of teams did tail off towards the end of last season, and that's the reason why we got 10th. And that is a good achievement. I'm not knocking the lads for finishing 10th. No question about that. I'm not. But the evidence was there last season that we struggled in large parts of it until the end of the season where we picked up. This summer, we've seen a lot of injuries to key players such as Lejeune, and we're struggling big time. We're massively struggling because we didn't strengthen. And we're persistent with the same team. That's just not good enough. I can't fault the lads for their effort. I really can't. But today I think Rafa Benitez, he needs to change up the team. I think he needs to play the 2 strikers. He needs to play key. Even bring on Fernandes for the centre-back. Bring him on if you have to. Like I say, if you play with the same team, we're just going to get punished time and time and time again. Let's have a look at the chat. The only time we're going to get big players playing at St James's Park is when other clubs... yeah. At the end of the day, it's just... While he's still here, we'll not attract big name players. It's as simple as that. You know, we'll just continue to be Newcastle United and we'll get players that aren't even us. Do you think we will win the top scorer for us? Also, who do you think will be the top scorer for us this season? Well, in my predictions, I went for Rondon, but at the minute he's not getting games, so it's looking very precarious at the moment. I have to say Rondon. Perez got 10 last season, but for me that's just not enough. We need somebody who's going to score 15 goals a season. That's what you need. You know, you need someone who's going to score 15 goals a season, and you need the midfield. You need the wingers to chip in, even potentially the centre backs. You need people to chip in, because if it's the same old players scoring goals, then you're just going to get found out. This is a perfect game to try a few new different players. Yeah, that exactly. You know, we're going into a game today where we're not expected to win, but if we play, you know, with a passion, we play with a pride, and we stick to a game plan. You know, we defend well, we hit them on the counter attack. You know, we're causing problems, and that's the big thing I want to see from the squad today. I want to see we cause Chelsea problems. That's what I want to see, because against Cardiff there was at times where we just didn't do enough. You know, going forward, we just stood there like lethargic, and it frustrated us because, you know, if we'd stuck to a game that we played against Tottenham, sort of like the middle of the first half, we could have got to them. Apologise about that. Phone alarm went off. Right, anyway, I'm back. Let's have a look at the comments. So we're at home. Yeah, we are at home today. It's going to be a tough game. A hard one to really to say. Like, it just depends how we start. Sharky, I love the Abubakar from Porto and Jonas from Benfica. I wouldn't want Jonas, but I would want Abubakar. The thing is with the Portuguese league is it's not exactly the hardest league, but when you come into the Premier League, it's a totally different kettle of fish. You know, you're playing with a league that's fast-paced, full of quality. Your trickery, skill, and you have to have all of those qualities when you play in the Premier League. And if you don't have that, you will get found out very, very quickly. It's going to be a tough game. You know, no question about that. It's going to be a really, really tough game. We're going to have to mentally be on our game, because if we're not, then yeah, say Chelsea will pick us off each time. Like I say, it's a tough match to call. You know, it depends how we start. Let's look at the comments. You think we're going to finish 16th this season? Well, with the ambition shown by the club, then you're probably not. As long as we stay in the Premier League, that's the main thing. You know, I don't want to see we're relegated again. I don't want to see we go back to the Championship, because it's one of those frustrating, boring leagues. You know, like you just know you're going to win each game. And that's no disrespect to anybody who's watching now, if you're like a Championship fan or anything like that. But it's such an easy league, and it is nice winning games in the Championship. But I want to see Newcastle keep challenging themselves against these so-called top clubs in the Premier League. I'm hoping that, you know, we don't have more Sky appearances. Sorry, I'm hoping that we don't have more Sky appearances about points this season, because we seem to get a lot of appearances on Sky. Do you think Arsenal will win the league? I went for Arsenal to win the league, but at the minute it's not coming off. They've had a bit of a poor start. You know, I mean, they won yesterday, but it's early doors at the minute, because Man City drew a Wolves, so they've dropped 2 points, and that's given Arsenal a chance to sort of come back. I think, at Man City. Not by much, but it's given them that, that moment. But they're going to have to really string some results up now. I think a lot of fans were quite surprised when Man City got a draw with Wolves, because it was a game that you're expecting, Wolves to crumble at one point, and you expect Man City to get something, but obviously they didn't. So that's why you've got to love the Premier League, because you got games like that last week. You've got Brighton, they beat Man United 3-1. Happens. If you're mentally on your game, you could get a good result. So like I say with Chelsea, anything can happen in today's game. It just depends how we start. It really depends on how we start. Not poorly, and Chelsea get the first goal. It's how we respond, and if we play well to respond, we could get an equaliser. But if we sort of don't play the game, then yeah. Where do I think Wolves will finish? Believe it or not, I think I've Wolves in the top 10. I think Wolves will finish in the top 10. They weren't quite convincing for the first couple of games, and I think they were just finding their route in the Premier League. But yeah, honestly, I think Wolves will be in the top 10. They showed enough yesterday against Man City that there will be a force for anybody. That there will be competition. Obviously, they'll not be in the top 6. I don't get us wrong. They'll be a tough team to crack. Especially at Molyneux. Wolves will be up there. I think they'll finish above us. There's no question about that. They've spent more money. They've probably got a better squad on paper. It's all good times for Wolves at the moment, but that's the reality of ambition. If Wolves are showing ambition and we aren't showing ambition, then only one team's going to finish ahead of you, and that's Wolves, isn't it? So I'm probably going to talk for like another 20 minutes or something like that. Going to go off by 11:30. But like I say, if he's on new, please hit that like button. Please do that. It would be really appreciated. If you are new, like I say, subscribe so you never miss any videos from myself again. Put your comments in down below. Team notes for today, what do you think? Or you just go to the game, let us know. You think Buka's very good at skills, quick, physical, good at passing. I think it's one of them really. You lot of unheard of players. I like him. Wolves get relegated so that they get screwed over financially, similar to QPR when they spent loads of money and went down. The thing with Wolves is I think they've got a good manager though. He's got the Portuguese system. Like I think he's got a lot of players that are integrated into the Premier League. They've got quality. They've spent wisely, and I think Wolves have got a good balance in their squad. They've got players on the bench that can come on and make a difference. They're quite an intelligent team. They ripped the Championship up last season. They're coming into the Premier League, and like I say, I don't think they were awful against Man City. I think they played really, really well. Okay, you could probably say it was a handball for that goal, but to be honest with you, I think you need any sort of slice of luck against Man City because they've got a good squad, and you're not going to get many opportunities. And if the referee hasn't seen it, he hasn't. You can't do anything about it. I think, to be honest with you, I think a point is a fair result for Wolves. The goal for Man City yesterday was brilliant, but it's one of them really. But I think because Wolves have spent more money than us and they've showed more ambition, then I don't see why they'd be anywhere near the relegation zone. I think they'll be fine. I really do. I'm hearing that Wolves are spending more money in January, so it could be interesting. It says a lot when Wolves are showing more ambition than us. It says a lot. Well, the thing is with Wolves, they've got a good balance. They've got a good balance in the squad. Wolves could bring anybody on, and they could change a game. I think they'll give us a game this season. There's no question about that. I don't think the team's worth that. Mike wants to find out. Let's have a look. Comments went. St James Park was only things that are worth. Well, like I say, Mike Ashley's the big problem at the minute. Not showing enough, ambition, not strengthening the squad where it needed strengthened. Like I say, it was his excuse. When we finished 10th, not to spend any money, and it's one of them, isn't it? Chelsea is Chelsea's in your blood, is it? Yeah, like I say, it should be a good game. He's got a good squad. Will be a tough game. Just have to wait and see how we play, of course. Comments. Stans, do you think we will win the league? Also taking in consideration that Chelsea wins today. Win the league. Well, I went Arsenal, but at the minute it's looking like Liverpool and Man City are my early favourites at the minute. I mean, I could probably put Chelsea there as well, of course. So I'd have to say Man City, Liverpool, or Chelsea. They're the three. But then you could probably put Tottenham in as well. I think at the minute it's too early to say who's going to win the league because the top 4 clubs, they're going to have a good moment and they're going to have a bad moment. It's hard to really say. It's going to be tough. Like, I'm Somali boy. I live in yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks so much for the nice words. It's going to be a tough game, no question about it. Yeah, so you've got a good manager, you've got a good squad, you've had a good start. It's just how we continue today. I think, like I say, Rafa Benitez, you'll know what he's about, usually a manager. I think you'll just set up to defend, and we're just going to have to try and find a way of breaking these down. I expect that you're going to have a lot of possession. It's going to be tough. So yeah, if you're new, hit the like button, subscribe. Or any is going to the game today, let us know in the comments. As a Newcastle fan, would you like to see Sunderland get promoted or stay down? I would like to see Sunderland go back up to the Championship, but that's probably about it. I don't think they're bad or that bad to stay in League One. I think League One's it's poor standard of football. Out of my last favourite English players, and Ali, because his stupid celebrations are cringy. Yeah, it's Dele Alli, isn't it? That's what he does. He's doing the thing at the minute with his. Yeah, I can't quite do it, but you got to have a little bit of character in the Premier League, haven't you? It's sort of one of them, isn't it? So yeah, let us know if you're going to the game. Let us know if you're going to be vlogging it. Let us know if you're going to be. Or let us know about the Rafa's, team lineup, and what's your potential team. And like I say, if you are enjoying the stream, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. So if you can stick the thumbs up, which takes literally 2 seconds, that would be brilliant. Do I sit in the Gallagher? No, I don't. I sit in the Milburn. I'm quite close to the players. If you watch any of my vlogs on the channel, you can see that I sit quite close to the players. If you watch the Tottenham vlog, the Newcastle versus Tottenham vlog, you can see that I'm quite close to the action. I will be there. Well, I will be close to the action today as well. So that's just where I'm sitting. Obviously, I'm sitting in my girlfriend's seat today, so it'd be quite interesting to know how it's going to go along today. Shall I see more comments? Let's have a look. I might stream my other channel of watching the game. That's what a lot of fans tend to do. They tend to stream a lot of the game, don't they? And just like, not sort of stream the game, the match itself, but the time that they talk about the game. I don't do that, of course, but I know a lot of YouTubers do, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I don't see a problem with it. Let's have a look. How tall am I? I'm probably like 5'11", 5'11", 6 foot. That's probably roughly where I'm at the minute. I haven't checked the scales for a while, and I haven't been measured up, so I could be. I think I'll be around about 5'11", 6 foot. I'm not the tallest person in the world. Okay, here comes the rain as well, so just what you need on a match day. Got a few programs actually as well from the match. See, I've been collecting loads of the programs as well. Got like the Dwight Gale. I've got loads of the programs. I don't know if any of you collect any of the programs. I've got an absolute book full of them. Yeah, I'm around about 6 foot. That's where I am. So like I say, I've got programs. I've got all sorts from Newcastle. Got all got tons of programs. Just turn into the Bible, these. Good. Oh look, John Joe Shelby. John Joe Shelby. Oh, look. Look who it is. Johnson Bamba. Oh. Honestly, this for me, this was when I went down to Ipswich. This is probably the best programme that I've bought. Look at that, the man. Sir Bobby Robson, rest in peace. That was from Ipswich Town. Ah, it's fine, mate. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I've seen worse messages in my time on a stream. I mean, just look at the great man. Look at the great man there, Sir Bobby Robson, the great man. There we go. And that's the back of the programme as well. The great man. Honestly, I've got an absolute ton of programmes. Aye, rest in peace, Bob Robson. Yeah, definitely. He's the glue that keeps the club together. He gives us belief. This, for me, is one of my best programmes, I think. The 125 years. Remember that one? Rafa Benitez. I love everything about that programme. Just that picture. That picture just sums up everything about the man. About talking about the glue, bringing everyone together. Rafa Benitez. Last season, Leicester City. Okay, we lost, but that was the best for me. One of the best programs. It's that one, right? And this one from the Championship. That one for the these. Yeah, what's Chris say? We're gonna win two. Yeah, I think I think we can win. It'd be a tough game, like, but I'll take a draw right now. Like, I'll take a point. These are like two of my best programs that I've bought. Like, that one's been down at Ipswich Town, and then that one obviously last season. How much money have I spent on programs? Oh mate, I've spent a lot of money on programs. I think I buy literally every program. Like I say, for me, it's not money doesn't bother us. Like, money's not the be all end all. Like, I spend on the club in terms of like programs because I think they're worth keeping. Honestly, I've got all of these programs. I've got absolutely tons of them. But for me, that memories of that you went to that game, and it kind of instantly brings out the score and what went well. Like, this one goes back. Do you remember that one? That was a Steve McLaren one. That was like we lost 1-0 in I think it was the Capital One Cup. So I've even got, like, let's have a look. Do you remember that one when we got promoted? Well, I wouldn't replace anybody with Rafa at the minute. Like, Rafa is the sort of glue that keeps everybody together. At the end of the day, I don't want to see Rafa Benitez go at the end of the season. Of course I don't. Because for me, he's brought me a lot more closer to the club. It sounds quite funny, but Rafa Benitez kind of inspired me to do YouTube. You know what I mean? He inspired us to do what I do. He inspired us to do YouTube. Are you going to the Forest away game? I won't be, mate. I'm at work, unfortunately. I would say a draw, but I would take. Let's have a look. I would like the win if we can get it. So Rondon and Perez up front. Yeah, mate, you're right. I mean, you've got to be positive when you play at home. It doesn't matter who you play. You could play Barcelona, Inter Milan, Juventus, anybody like that, and you've just got to have a bit of positivity that we can go out there and get something today. But like I say, I don't think that any fans will complain today if we walked out with a point. If we went to St James's today and we gave it absolutely everything and we got a point, I think a lot of fans would snap your hand off for that. I think the point is, it's probably the best we're going to get today, if I'm honest with you. Look at Chelsea's squad. Look at what they've got. Look at the manager. Look at the ambition that they've showed in the summer. I'd take a point today if the offers it. Let's have a look. Ethan, welcome to the stream, mate. Do you think Rondon will start, or at least our new signing? Yeah, what I'm saying is I reckon it'll be Rondon I think he'll start. And I think Mutu might come on in his replacement in the second half, or maybe vice versa. I think Rafa does need to change the team up a little bit. I wouldn't be playing the same team that played against Cardiff because it were just two suspects. It wasn't a good performance. Tough to say really. Connor, what do you think the score's going to be? Welcome to the stream, mate. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw because I don't think we've got anything to lose. We're playing at home. There'd be a big expectation from the fans. We've got a tough run in. And if we stick to a game plan, we defend and we hit them on the counter attack, then I think we can get something. But if we just sit back and soak up the pressure, then Chelsea will just come and they'll pick one off each time. And it would be interesting to know how we respond if we go 1-0 down. I want to see how we could respond if we go 1-0 down, because if we don't respond, then, like I say, it could be a long afternoon for it, but who knows? I don't think it's going to be the same game as what it was last season when we won 3-0, because Conte obviously was on the verge of the sack. They weren't playing for him. Tough to really call at the minute. Right, I'm away. Enjoy the game. Yeah, Chaz JK, thanks for joining the stream. Hope you enjoy the game. How are the lads? Next one. Who's next? I think Dubravka, Lascelles, Clark, Fabian Shaw in the middle. It's gonna be a tough game. Jonathan Young, how are the lads? Welcome to the stream, mate. Hope you're doing good. Big game today for the Toon. Massive. We need something today, I think. If we can get a point, then I'd take it. But that's easier said than done, of course. Shout out, who is it? Barslow Curry, yeah, mate, welcome to the stream. You're more than welcome. Cheers for watching. Like I say, if you're all new to the stream, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a video from myself again. Also, hit the like button. It only takes 2 minutes. And I'd really appreciate that massively. I think today's match will be harder. Spurs home. Yeah, it will be. Chelsea have got a good squad. They've got some good players. The manager seems to know what he's doing. They've got a way of playing. And Chelsea find a way of winning. And you could say that against Arsenal last week when they went 2-0 up. It was 2-2. They could easily have caved in. They didn't. They got the third goal and won the game. So I think there's a couple of players we're going to have to watch out for. The likes of Alonso. We're going to have to watch out for Hazard. We're going to have to watch out for Giroud, Willian, Morata. Anybody that we've got. It's going to be a tough game. Looking ahead to Forest, do you think playing a weaker side in our first team is fully fit? Let's have a look. For the weekend would be better than trying to progress in the cup. To be honest with you, I think Rafa Benitez won't go full strength in the cup. I think he's stated this week that his ambitions are to stay in the league, to focus on the league. He might do it in the FA Cup, but at the minute, we just don't seem to have the squad. We're picking up key injuries in key areas where we don't need them. I think Forest will be a tough game. And it's got even tougher now that we're away from home. And it's going to be revenge for the game that we played last season when we lost 3-2. I don't think Rafa Benitez is prioritising the cup this season. That pains us to say because I love a good cup run. I want to see we do well in the cups, but I can't say anything. Is Colback allowed to play against us in the cup because he won't be... Jack Colback won't be able to play against us because technically he's on loan till the end of the season, and then obviously he's a free man after that. So Jack Colback won't be playing against us on Wednesday night. They'll just be playing with the same team that they probably used against Birmingham yesterday when they drew 2-2. I can't see Jack Colback playing, so no. Not that Jack Colback's going to do a great deal for Nottingham Forest against us. So yeah, if that answers your question, I don't think he'll be playing. Barslow Curry, honestly don't know who's going to win. Chelsea better squad. Chelsea have got a good squad, mate. It's going to be a tough game. I think Chelsea will have all the possession. We're just going to have to try and find a way of breaking them down. We're going to have to make the most of our opportunities because opportunities will be few and far between. We're just going to have to show the correct attitude. If we showed the same attitude that we showed against Tottenham to come back, say if we go 1-0 down, then potentially we could get something. We showed the same attitude against Cardiff last week, the lethargic attitude, then we're going to get nothing because in long parts of that game, I don't think we were good enough. Rafa Benitez wasn't happy, but I suppose he was happy that we got the point because at the end of the day, that could have been Cardiff's pen and they could have put it away. Will you be travelling to Nottingham? I won't be, mate. Unfortunately, I'm at work, but I am going to be going to away games this season, so don't worry about that. Plus, it's like middle of the week, and I'm doing like 11-hour shifts, so I don't think it's really advisable when you're doing like you're doing like an 8 o'clock start from like a match. Do you think? Do I do this every Newcastle match? I don't actually. This is something new. Like I've not done a stream, like a build-up stream before. I will be doing it for every match pretty much, unless I'm busy. Letting you guys talk about the game, the build-up, your team lineups and things like that. I want to do different things for the channel. I want to get you more involved. That's what it's all about. Because I felt more last season was all about me, and I don't want the channel to be just about me. It's all to be about you as well. So it's a case of doing a lot more for you guys as well. Let's have a look. Have I been there blocked by Dennis Wise yet? Well, if he does block us, I couldn't give a shit. No, I don't like Dennis Wise anyway. He talks so much shit. It's a laugh. Honestly, he's just all shit talk. That's what he's all about. I mean, how dare Dennis Wise, right, come out and slag the club off to say that, Mike Ashley's this, Mike Ashley's that. Mike Ashley's done fuck all for us. He's done nothing. What do you think of Rondon Perez up front? That's what I mean. I think it's either Rondon and Mutu will play up front alongside Perez, and I think it'll be a vice versa swap in the second half, depending on what goes on in terms of the game. I didn't watch it, unfortunately. I missed it. Dubravka, Steri, Lascelles, Fernandez, Dummett, Atsu, Key, Shelby, Richie, Mutu, and Rondon. Good team number. I like that. With Yedlin being given the all clear to play, do you think we'll come back into the squad straight away? I don't think so, mate. I'd like to see Seri start. I think you've got to give the young lad a chance. Let's have a look down the bottom. I'm there today, mate. I think we can get something out of this tonight. I would start. We do a great runner. Yeah, he is. He's intelligent. He offers something different, to what we've had before. All I ask for is that Rafa Benitez doesn't, pick the same team that played against Cardiff, because we didn't offer a great deal. Let's put it that way. Cardiff were there for the taking. I don't think they were amazing. I don't think they really had the quality, and they're going to have a a long season just like ourselves. But we missed a big opportunity last week, and Rafa Benitez didn't show that he was frustrated with a point. I think he was more annoyed at the fact that we could have got something. What could have been in footballs like that? What could have been. But we've got a point. We've got a point on the board. We've just got to put it behind us. We've got to go into this game today and just be positive about it. I mean, it's going to be tough. There's no question about that. Like I say, keep saying Chelsea have got the squad. They've got the strength and depth. We don't. But you know what? When we play at St James's Park, when everyone gets behind the lads, anything can happen. Anything can happen on the day. It really can. Sharky, I think most big manager would do bad at Newcastle compared to Rafa. It depends on the situation, because not many big managers are going to want to come to Newcastle in this current situation. They would have looked at Rafa Benitez being the biggest manager that we've had since Bobby Robson, Kevin Keegan. They would have looked at it and they would have thought, well, if he's not getting backed, I'm not going to get backed. It's an embarrassment. And I've got to feel sorry for Rafa Benitez. Do you know what I mean? I've got to, because for as well as he's done, and the big thing for me, which sticks out for Rafa Benitez, is the fact he stuck around when we went down. For me, that was huge. For me, that's even bigger than finishing 10th, in my opinion. Because when we went down, he could easily thought, what, that's it, I'm going. I couldn't do much more. I couldn't keep you up. He stayed in the Championship, when nobody, he stayed in the Championship when nobody would have cared about it. And that's what I thank Rafa Benitez for, because he stayed when it was going bad. And you got to remember, without Rafa Benitez, right, we wouldn't be where we are today. We would not be in the Premier League. We might have struggled in the Championship. If we persisted with Steve McLaren, I'm not being funny, but we would not have got promoted from the Championship, because Steve McLaren, he was just a yes man. He's full of excuses. And for me, that honestly, Rafa Benitez staying when we went down was bigger than finishing 10th last season, because for me, that was a moment where it changed. Because if he'd walked, it could have went really bad. We could have done a Sunderland. But if we'd, like he's done now, we are where we are because of him. And that's the bottom line. Cheers, mate. Thanks for subbing. I really appreciate that. If you are new, if you want to subscribe, please do. Hit the like button. It literally takes 2 seconds. And put your comments in down below. I think a lot of fans are praying that he doesn't leave. Would you blame Rafa for leaving if he does? I don't. No, I don't. Honestly, I don't, because at the end of the day, you know, Rafa Benitez deserves so much better. You know, look at his CV. Look at where he's been. Okay, he's not won anything as of late, apart from maybe the championship, if you really want to count that as a trophy. But Rafa Benitez is a broken man. You know, I watched him on that technical area, right, and he just looks drained of energy because he hasn't been given, you know, the tools to work with. Full of false promises. Was that the under 23s? I was, mate. Yeah, I was. Finished 5-0, didn't it? Good performance by the lads. You know, we were not favourites to win the game. Some of them were favourites to get a result, and we totally smashed them. Completely smashed them off the park. On the night, we could have won 6 or 7. And then, obviously, the under 18s have won 1-0. I think it was yesterday as well. So, it's been a good all-round week for the, you know, the sort of under 18s. The under 23s. Let's hope that the first team can somehow pull it off, you know, today and get a result. But, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to be realistic in who you're playing, in the quality that you're coming up against. And I'm sure, like I say, the Chelsea fans are being fine boys today. Hopefully that, you know, we'll be the 12th man and we'll get behind the squad, because the squad will need us today. There's no question about that. And if we do that, you just never know, we could get a result. Let's have a look at the comments. Shark, you keep up the good content, mate. You deserve the more subscribers. Well, no, thanks for the nice words. At the end of the day, I mean, people will only subscribe if they like what you do. People don't have to like what I do. You know, at the end of the day, I'll keep going because that's the sort of person I am. Like I say, if you enjoy what I do, I appreciate it, because at the end of the day, there's people out there bigger than me. I'm a fan like all of you guys. You know, I just talk about Newcastle and what I believe in, and it's always nice to get you involved. So yeah, like I say, words like that mean a great deal. No one's going to knock us down. People have told me, "Oh, stop doing YouTube. Doesn't bother us. I'll just keep doing it." You know, at the end of the day, like, some videos only get like 15 or 20 likes. It's not about that. Like, at the end of the day, I'll keep bringing out the content, and people are going to keep subscribing anyway. So at the end of the day, there's no point having an attitude of giving up. Never give up. You know, if you want to strive and do something, you never give up. You know, always stay on the front foot. Let's have a look on the chat. Chris Hughton was our best manager. Yeah, he was good, mate. He kept the team together, didn't he? You know, we got promoted to the Premier League. You know, we beat Sunderland 5-1. And then I'm sure we played someone like West Brom or something like that, and then you got the sack, which for me, it's an absolute fucking joke. Like, sacking Chris Hughton like that, for me, there was no need. I mean, I think at the time we were like mid-table. We were about 12th at the time. You know, I was at the game, and he brought that respect back to the club. You know, everybody liked him for who he was, and you know, you got to remember, for Chris Hughton, right? He came in when it was going badly, when we got relegated, you know, and it wasn't Shearer's fault, you know, that we got relegated. It was Joe Kinnear's fault that we got relegated, and Mike Ashley's that we got relegated that first season. The players respected him. And even when we got beat, I think it was off Leyton Orient, was it 6-1? You know, we managed to put a team together that really cared about the club, and we got promoted from the Championship. And under Chris Hughton, I really thought we were going to go places. We were. Middle of the table for the first season back was going places for me. Mike Ashley wasn't happy. We got a yes man and Pardew in, and it all went downhill from there, didn't it? You had one good season, I think, Pardew, when we came 5th. Apart from that, you just spent half his time headbutting players and causing trouble, pushing people about. Let's have a look. Do you think Fernandez Sharky need to see Rondon and Mutu too? Could be interesting. I think if he was to start, he'll replace Kieran Clark. Jamal Lascelles is not leaving the squad anytime soon. You know, he's a captain, leader, does, you know, what he has to do. I think Mutu or Rondon, I think one of them will start in replace of Hoslu. But then I think one of them will go off in the second half. I think it'll be a vice versa swap. So if, say, Mutu starts, he'll go off in the second half for Rondon. If Rondon starts, Rondon will go off for Mutu. So I don't think they'll both start together. I would love to say that, but Rafa Benitez, he tends not to change the team around too much. But because we've got key injuries, then, you know, we might have to change it around a little bit. You're after the protest today, mate. I'm not, because for me, it's just free publicity at Mike Ashley. If I'm honest with you, it was an alright protest, don't get us wrong, it worked. I don't like Mike Ashley and things like that. I mean, if he's want to protest, he can do that. But obviously, just don't protest in the stadium, because I think it's only right that he's get behind the team. The only person that's going to be laughing at us is Mike Ashley when we're doing the protest outside Sports Direct. It's free publicity for him. He's not going to be bothered what we do. You've got to remember, Mike Ashley's been here 10 years and he's not done anything in 10 years. And we've protested, outside the ground. We've said a lot of bad things about him, anti-Ashley, anti-this, anti-that. And, he could be sitting there, on his sunbed and just laughing at us. And that's just because he's a greedy, arrogant man. And he doesn't care about us. And it doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter how many times we say things outside the ground or outside Sports Direct. He's not bothered. Because at the end of the day, the only winner is Mike Ashley. And it's sad to say he's the only winner, for this protest. It's going to take more than that protest, for that to happen. Some of them are going to have to protest outside Sports Direct. Some of them are going to have to protest outside the stadium. It's not going to work. It really isn't going to work. I was there for about 5 minutes last week, and if I'm honest with you, I wasn't totally convinced by it. It was a peaceful protest. I thought there was going to be more to it. And I'm not saying going around breaking things and things like that, but I thought there would have been a lot more to it. Like I say, the only real winner at the minute is Mike Ashley, and that pains us to say, because he's a greedy, arrogant man, and all he cares about is money. Doesn't care about the fans. The more that we go, which I am going to go, because one person doesn't stop us from going. But because the way the TV deal is at the minute with the Premier League, Sky Sports, he's just raking in the money. He's not bothered. He's not going to leave. The longer that we make appearances on Sky, he's going nowhere. He's going absolutely nowhere. So, like I say, it pains us to say. Did I do well in school? Yeah, I didn't do too bad, actually. I passed everything. So, I did stick in, actually. I mean, don't get us wrong. I mean, you had your moments at school where you were a bit like, over the top. Where you were... I mean, you had good days and bad days at school, but I never, failed anything. So, yeah, I wasn't too bad at school. Always, I was never, a goody two-shoes, but I always, stuck in there, I wanted to achieve and get me grades and stuff like that. So, I used to stick in. That's all I'm going to say on that one, because you never know where you want to be in your career, of course. Like I said, Mike Ashley's story. Well, at the end of the day, I think I'm wasting my time, because he's not going to listen to us. Totally get behind the team, mate. Without question, it worked for the Rangers fans. So who knows, mate? We have to live in hope. Yeah, definitely. That's it, mate. That's all we can do. Mike Ashley sacked Chris Hughton and Sam Valdez and Kevin Keegan. So the man he's has a poor way with the manager. So hopefully Rafa is not next. At the end of the day, I don't think he has a right to sack Rafa Benitez. At the end of the day, he's like the glue that keeps the fans in the club together. Rafa Benitez has done so much for the football club, and I appreciate everything that he's done. If anything, he won't get sacked. It'll be him walking away, because at the end of the day, Rafa Benitez's time is pretty much up at Newcastle. Because, and I don't mean that in a bad way, I'm just saying it's up because what more can he do? The big thing for me is he stuck around when we got relegated. That's it. He stuck around. I love maths. Maths was good. I just didn't like. Maths was good. I just didn't like English. Have a look at the comments again now. I just think, all in all, it's going to be a long season, and I think Rafa Benitez. And what I like about Benitez is, even though he's got 1 year left in his contract, he will still play to win. He's not going to just let the season peter out. He's going to want to get as many points as possible. He's going to want to do well with the squad. He's going to want to get the best out of the squad. He's a progressive person. And that's the sort of person he is. He's not going to just let the season peter out because people have paid hard-earned money for the games. They paid hard-earned money for the season tickets. A lot of managers would do that. If they've got 1 year left in the contract and they haven't been given the support, they would either walk away now, or they would just wait and see what happens. And I think Rafa Benitez, I think he can walk away with his head held high. He's done what he's set out to do. He's achieved what he set out to achieve, and with the squad that we've got, I don't think he can do much more. You really can't. So, as harsh as that sounds, it's Mike Ashley. He's killing the club. He's the one that's ruining it. Yeah, and the thing is with Newcastle, like, at the end of the day, you know, we could get relegated to like non-league and I'd still watch it because that's the club I support, and one man's not going to stop us from going to the games. Let's have a look. Uncle Spam, let's try and get a point from our game today, and we'll fill the team with confidence before our next game. Yeah, you're right, mate. Welcome to the stream. It's going to be a tough one. Say the running. You know, we've got Chelsea today, followed by Man City next week, and Arsenal at home. Doesn't get any easier, does it? I mean, we've just got to stick in there, and something will come off eventually. I think what I'm looking is in September when we've got an easier running, when we've got teams in and around us. I think that's what I'm looking at the moment. I can't judge with like sort of playing like Chelsea and that because they're better than us. Man City are better than us. Arsenal are better than us. I know we're beating, you know, Chelsea and Arsenal last season at home, but you know they are better than us on paper. But obviously a game is one on paper. You've got to go there and produce the results, of course. But that's the difference. At the end of the day, that's the difference between our squad and what they have. So anyway, that's just been the stream. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I say, I'll be back later on tonight with the match day experience from the match. I'm going to go for a final score of 1-1. Don't forget to like the stream as well. I hope you really enjoyed it. I will be doing another one as well for the game against Manchester City on Saturday night. So I probably might do one about 3 for a couple of hours. I won't be there, obviously, of course. Might do one for Forest on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that as well. Yeah, if you enjoyed, subscribe. It literally takes 2 seconds. Subscribe. Also, hit the like button as well. Put your comments down below. And till the next one, I'll catch you all later. Have a nice day. Enjoy the game if you're going. And yeah, get behind Rafa. Get behind the lads. Yeah, enjoy the game. I'll catch you later.